Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Friday. Happy Friday. We have two games tonight, Sixers Heat and Suns Mavs. Looking to avoid going down 3-0 are the Sixers and the Mavs. They're playing in front of their home crowd. We got some low spreads tonight. So hopefully we're able to get longer series out of this just to extend the season. Embiid is currently listed as out. There's a chance he gets upgraded throughout the day, so we'll see. The spread is low for the Sixers game, so maybe Vegas thinks that Embiid will play. Not sure 100%, but let's go ahead and get started. As always, if you enjoy the picks, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out all the socials down below. Twitter, it's at the DFS Process. You can use my code Process on Prize Picks when you want to get signed up. And you can check out the website if you want to join. Looking at the point guard picks, it's been pretty clear the ones that I've been targeting. Luka Doncic going right back to him, put up big games on the road in Phoenix, and now he's going back at home in what is essentially a must-win. They definitely don't want to go down 3-0. And Luka has played well this series. I mean, they haven't been able to slow him down. The problem has been that nobody else on his team has really stepped up the first two games. Maybe at home is where you typically expect some of the role players to play a little bit better, just then on the road, especially some of the younger guys. But Luka is just on another level at this point. Got to go with him as my favorite pay-up. And then second guy I'll have at shooting guard is going to be Devin Booker. The same type of studs I paid up for the last time these teams played. Booker looked like himself last game in terms of shooting and scoring. Shot almost 60% from the floor. Hit 5 threes. There's no real problems with him looking with the hamstring injury. Played 36 and 38 minutes and didn't look really limited at all out there, or bothered by that injury at all either. I'm not really looking at James Harden much. I'm going to rather go to Booker 500 less than go up to Harden. He's not even the number one option on his team. At this point, it's been Tyrese Maxey who's been taken over as a number one scorer. We saw Maxey play essentially the whole second half. He played all the way up until they had to pull their starters with like a couple minutes to go with the game out of hand. Maxey was doing everything he could to keep the Sixers in that game. Put up 34 points, and I'd probably take Maxey for 2,000 less than James Harden today. And then you have Chris Paul at 700 less than Harden, who also gets you a bit of a safer floor, similar if not a little bit higher ceiling, given the matchup. Just a tough matchup for Harden, and he just hasn't looked like himself as of late. Other picks at the point guard position we can look to. Brunson is pretty affordable at 64. We'll have to see if Kyle Lowry is able to return today. If he does, that will hurt Tyler Hero a little bit. It will also hurt some of the bench pieces, like less minutes for Gabe Vincent, less minutes for Oladipo. So we'll see. He's still questionable. If there's no Embiid, then I don't know if they will put Lowry back there as all. I mean, they've been able to handle a Sixer without Embiid, and we'll see what they decide to do. Then they priced up Gabe Vincent. He's up to 51 now. He's still an okay play, but I'd probably like to get to Oladipo for a couple hundred less if there is no Lowry. And then the only other guy that's getting some minutes that you can kind of consider is going to be Campaign at 35. Over at shooting guard, Devin Booker here at 85. Going to be my favorite. They priced up Hero to almost 7K, so he's going to be kind of dependent on Lowry. If Lowry's in, I don't want to pay that much for Hero. If Lowry's out, then definitely easier to get to Tyler Hero. 5K range, Bullock had a decent game last time out. Hit 4 threes. He was one of the other few Mavs that stepped up nicely, but he didn't really get you many peripherals except for 4 rebounds. I kind of like getting to his teammate Finney Smith a little bit more just because he gives you more upside for peripherals, especially defensive stats and rebounding. Dinwiddie's 52, he comes off the bench, plays like 26 to 28 minutes, maybe up to 30. He looks alright, but not my favorite at that price tag. And they also priced up Strus, so the value pick would maybe be like Korkmaz, at least gets you a handful of minutes. Over at small forward, you have Butler at 93. Looked good last game. Going on the road to Philly now. We'll see about the Sixers able to stay in this game. If basically going to be dependent on the Embiid news. But I like Finney Smith at 55. Had a bad game last time out. Only played 20 minutes. A little bit of foul trouble. But typically he's played like over 40 and has been hitting the 3 pretty well as of late. And at home, maybe we'll be able to shoot a little bit better. Other picks you could look to maybe go with like a mid-range for Cam Johnson at 46. 3K range, you have not too many options. Basically looking at Korkmaz to get you a handful of minutes. Maybe Caleb Martin gets you some minutes there as well. And then don't have much interest in Thibault. Just hasn't really been doing anything crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and put in Finney Smith at 55. Over at power forward, you have Tobias at 73. He played well for the Sixers last game. Stepped up nicely. Some of these guys, Sixers, I wouldn't feel great about paying up for like Harden or Tobias or even Maxey if Embiid plays. If Embiid is out, then probably like Tobias a lot and Maxey more than Harden. 73 for Tobias, had 4 steals, played well. Hit a couple threes in the fourth. Paul Reed is up to 5K almost. Tough for me to get too excited at that price tag. Another guy that I kind of like is Maxi Kleber, another Mavs pick. But he plays good minutes off the bench. Essentially, plays more minutes than the starter. Dwight Powell hasn't done anything. He has like 1 rebound in 2 games this series. I'd rather take a shot on Maxey to hit some threes for the Mavs and to maybe get you some rebounds and some defensive stats. Over at center, give me Bam Adebayo at 81. Especially if there's no Embiid today. Tough to get away from Bam. He just continues to produce. Sixers have no match for him in the front court, going up against DeAndre Jordan and going up against like Paul Reed, who fouls a lot. Bam has such an easy matchup, gets you rebounds. Should be able to do well, especially if there's no Embiid. If Embiid plays, maybe you can go elsewhere, but still not the worst price tag for Bam at 81. Now we have about like almost 4,000 left for the last few spots. Now, there's not too many great value picks today in the 3K range. It's kind of a stretch for a lot of these guys. One guy that would get the minutes that just hasn't really produced is Niang. He fouled out in just 11 minutes last game, 10 minutes. Game before that, 0 of 7. Now he's going back at home, so playing in front of the home crowd. Maybe he feels a little bit more comfortable, a little bit less nervous out there. And they're going to need him to play some minutes because, like right now, Thibault's not really doing anything offensively. Danny Green went 1 of 10 last game. Not like Niang gives you great upside, but at least on the season, he has been a pretty good, reliable 3-point shooter for them. And 37, I'd rather take shots with him than go with like Korkmaz at 34, Thibault at 33, even probably Caleb Martin at 35. So that's it. At least to get to 1 Sixer piece in here is get to a value pick off the bench. That's all for the DraftKings side. Let's go ahead and take a look at FanDuel. All right, over on FanDuel for us, point guard picks, same type of deal. The guys I'm targeting, definitely love Luka at 11.5. I like him a lot more than Chris Paul, who's almost touching 10K. And then other picks would be Maxey. Good price tag on Jalen Brunson. Then you have good price tags on Gabe Vincent at 43, depending on Lowry news. But if Lowry happens to play, then you can go to Dinwiddie instead at 46. That is a nice price tag. Over at shooting guard, we have Booker at 9K is going to be a guy that I'm going to look to get to. Other pick would be maybe looking at James Harden at 87, but I'd rather get to Booker for 300 more and probably go with some of the value with like Maxey, or go down to Tyler Hero at 64, or go down to Brunson at 62. And then in the 4K range, you have Oladipo at 42 and Strus. So you got some good price tags depending on the Kyle Lowry news. That would impact Oladipo's minutes. Strus would probably still continue to start. They'll probably bring Vincent off the bench in that case. And then you have Green at 4K, but he's definitely behind the other guys that I mentioned. Over at small forward, Butler's up to 10-2. It's not the easiest price tag to get to on FanDuel. Other pick would be getting to like maybe Tobias at 8K. Mid-range, I like Finney Smith a lot at 55. Just continues to play good minutes. I mean, last game was kind of an anomaly for him, but typically he's played like 40-plus minutes throughout the postseason. For a value pick, we have Cam Johnson at only 41. And then you have PJ Tucker potentially at 4,000 to get you some minutes there. But I'll go with Finney Smith to bounce back and get me some good minutes tonight in what is basically a must-win. Over at power forward, looking to go with like Bam, but I'll probably play him at center. So maybe Tobias at 8K looks all right. But going with Maxey at 45, he's just a guy that you can feel okay about off the bench. I like him a little bit more than Paul Reed. Gets probably more minutes than Cam Johnson will on a more consistent basis. And when he's out there, he's looking to shoot the 3. And then you have Niang at 36 potentially as a option for us, but I like Kleber a lot more. And then last but not least, over at center, it's going to be getting to Bam. At 85, we saw Jordan play, or DeAndre Ayton play really poorly last game. He only played 18 minutes. Only had 9 fantasy points. So you might want to go to him in a bounce back spot, but I feel better by getting to Bam for 1,100 more, especially if there is no Embiid. If Embiid does play, he's only 10.5. I'll probably look to get to him as a pay-up. Expect him to do what he could to get the Sixers to within a game of the series. But overall, this is what I got. Similar picks on both sites for me, at least as of now. If there's any changes, I'll post them over on Twitter at the DFS Pro so you can check it out. But thank you for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I'll see you all next time.